COVID-19 is one of the most indiscriminate viruses we have seen in our lifetime, and we are all affected in one way or another.
As Namibia buckles under the collective trauma and grief of the pandemic, concerns have been raised about the long-term impacts on mental health. But there are tools that don't require leaving the house and that are freely available to help us cope under the strain of living through the third wave.
We are all facing a very disruptive world at the moment. We are fighting an invisible enemy. Many of us are in a constant state of war. In this time of collective crisis, many of us function by running, by keeping busy, by not slowing down, by not looking after ourselves, but rather focusing on the outside and focusing on how we can help others, without realizing that the only way we can start helping others sustainably is to focus on ourselves, to deal with what the grief and the loss that we're experiencing, to not run away from it.
This pandemic evokes a lot of uncertainty. Security in many aspects of our lives are left broken and vulnerable. And this is especially hard for human beings. We like certainty, we like planning, we like being in control. And this is unfortunately a time that we can have very little of that. However, one of the ways that we need to tackle it psychologically is to tell ourselves that we can manage it. Despite uncertainty, we can manage and tolerate what is going on around us.
So we should accept the new normal that you are in now, because we do not know for how long COVID-19 will be here. So we should learn to live with COVID-19. You should always have someone to talk to, and I always call these people, you should have your 911. 911 is an emergency number, so you should always have someone to talk to. We have social workers in the country, of which the government of Namibia have paid that services for. You should always have a place to feel so safe, where you can express yourself without being judged and then being understood to say. So it's best to seek help. Therapy is important. All hospital, there is a social worker, so you go there. You do not have to make an appointment. If you don't want to go to social workers' offices, you should also visit psychologists.
So I know we are all quite isolated right now. We can't have gatherings like we used to, but we're also very lucky to have Zoom and have Skype and WhatsApp. So don't isolate yourself. Reach out, go talk to people. If you can't talk to your family, talk to your pastor, talk to a social worker. It is super important that we try and cope and deal as much as we can now while it's appropriate, rather than numbing and suppressing.
Please reach out to people. Please ask people to check in with you. You do not need to, and you should not go through all of this alone. There's a lot of people that find it incredibly rewarding to help and assist, because in all other ways they are powerless. They cannot help you recover, but they can help and support in other practical ways.
We do have to create space for grief. Our classic model of suppressing and numbing and just, sweeping it under the rug, that might have worked if we've lost one person, but now we're losing 3, 4, 5 family members, we're losing colleagues and friends, and there's so much grief and bereavement right now that we simply can't suppress it. We have to create space to try and heal. And this is also really difficult if you can't have your classic funeral. A lot of our traditional rites can't be observed right now. So this really makes it more difficult to actually move through that stage of grief. So we have to kind of be creative and have our own rites and have our own funerals and talk to our loved ones, the ones that you've lost. I'm dealing with a lot of people now who haven't had an opportunity to say goodbye, and they haven't had an opportunity to make their peace and say their sorries for the things that they've regret with that relationship. So talk to the person and say those rites. Have a funeral at your house, even if it is just a symbolic one where you're burying a rose or something significant to that person.
Face-to-face mental health support is very often out of reach of a lot of us. Even those who have the financial resources to access face-to-face mental health support often do not, due to other barriers. So by making this 14-day mental health challenge available online to everyone, we really hope to start sparking a movement of daily practices amongst individuals that help to manage stress, to help manage anxiety, and by strengthening the individual, we collectively also strengthen our community. This challenge is really about teaching us techniques and practices to help deal with the stress of this new everyday life. Help us be more present, help us to focus on how to deal with these emotions so that we can help ourselves. And in helping ourselves, we'll be stronger to help others and the community around us. The only criteria to participating in this is to be human.
Take care of yourself. Self-care is very, very important. What I mean by self-care is that you should take time for yourself, spend time with yourself, exercise, do gardening, whatever you're trying to keep yourself busy. And we believe in therapy, and when you work on yourself, you work on your mind, and you try to accept the situation we are in, or to our new normal, living with COVID-19, we are going to have better results.
In our brave new world, every act of kindness makes a difference. And very often that kindness starts with being kind to yourself and using tools that are readily available to be present, to look after yourself, to deal with your loss, to deal with the grief, to deal with the emotions that we're facing and not just push them aside. A lot of us do that. The only way we deal with this uncertainty is to power ahead, to stay strong, to stay busy. But that is an inexhaustible resource. We need to find ways to slow down, to be present, to take stock of our emotions, to recognize them and to deal with them.
We can do small things that just keeps our mind positive, hopeful, inspired. We all have to limit our exposure to social media, especially those social media platforms that's just constantly the bearer of bad news. My suggestion would be to have a time of the day, maybe in the morning or the evening, to check in with people that you love and care for, or to phone them. But really watch out how much time you are spending on it. We all have a limit to our time and energy. It's our responsibility to preserve it. It's our responsibility to take care of ourselves, because only then can we actually take care of other people that we love and care for.
Of course, fear and anxiety affects our immune system. It pumps us full of adrenaline and cortisol, which then again makes it easier for us to be susceptible to infections. So we really do have to get rid of the cortisol and adrenaline in our bodies. And the healthiest way to do that is through exercise. So go for those walks, get outside, don't forget to exercise. And of course, we can also really help the symptoms of anxiety by actively slowing down our breathing. So if we inhale and we exhale for much longer, so slower exhales, it also really helps to calm down your nervous system so you don't feel so anxious. Our world right now is so dark, and it is so difficult and challenging, and there's so much struggle going on that it can feel like this is all there is right now. And maybe we also need to remind ourselves that this is a moment to be deeply grateful for what we have left. This is a moment to really focus on our relationships. And this is really a time to also try and find a little bit of light in the darkness. Do things that make you happy. Don't forget to do your hobbies. So sing, play music, paint, work in your garden, go walk your dog, spend time with your family members that you have left. We really, really have to kind of live the life that we have, appreciate the relationships that we have, and really just take care of ourselves and take care of each other.